Hello and welcome to another video and podcast from Fantasy Football Scout. My name is Joe and today I'm looking to help you with your transfer decisions in game week 37 by giving some tips for those using a free hit in this double game week. It will also be of use to those either bench boosting or using transfers so they can see the players to get in if given free reign to get any 11 you wanted. So it's just basically going to help you decide which are the best players to get in on transfers, on your bench boost, but specifically for this one, really your free hit as well. Just before we move on, just a reminder, do press that like button. It really helps us out. And also do remember to subscribe wherever you're watching or listening to this. What we're going to do is I'm going to have a few words about sort of strategy for those free hitting and what they should be sort of looking at, the sort of key points they should be considering. We'll look at the fixtures, see what we're dealing with, and then I'll put a free hit team that I've mocked up from my own team. It's got a bit of money in the bank, and I'll also explain the sort of other players you can consider to get in as well. So looking at the sort of strategy for this really, free hitters are in the minority amongst engaged managers. So in the top 100k and also the top 10k, more than 8 out of 10 are still to use their bench boost. You would imagine pretty much most of those will be using it in this week. They've been saving it for this week. So for free hitters, they need to sort of get a march on them, but they've also got to compete with them. So you've got to think, which players am I going to take on? Are you going to take on Haaland, Palmer, for example, who are going to be in bench boost teams? And they should be in a free hit team too. You can't bet against them not delivering in this week. So you need to compete, mirror, and hopefully better. This is if you're free hitting, better those bench boosters. And already you can by free hitting by not taking hits. So I'm a typical bench booster. I'm very unlucky. I've got potentially Bruno Fernandes out. He certainly missed the Crystal Palace game this week. I've also got Fabian Schär out, and I've also got Harry Maguire out as well. So I'm potentially looking at having to take a hit. Even if Bruno Fernandes is fit, is he the best player for this week? I'm not sure. Looking at Manchester United performance against Palace, but that was obviously without him. But for example, I've got Ederson in my team. Is that the best Man City defensive coverage? Arguably not. So already, I think free hitters have an advantage. You can get the very latest information. Watch out for the team news video and podcast later this week. That'll have all the latest from the press conferences. Free hitters can act on that, and they can think, well, so-and-so's fit, so-and-so's injured. I can react to that. They can get the best players. Muggins like me here, I'm going to have to take a hit or two. Hopefully not two, but I'm resigned to taking at least one hit. Yeah, I've only taken 2 this season, so I know that's much less than the average. So I'm okay taking a hit. Anyway, enough about me and my bench boost. This is all about you and your free hit team. So you could already be 4 points up. Get the players and team in the best form. Manchester United, for example, bench boosters will have gone heavy on them. Is that the best way of using your free hit? You must also decide whether you have any singlers. Now, I think if you're competing with bench boosters, they're going to have perhaps Gabriel, Tarkowski. They're going to have a few single game week players on their bench, but they're also going to have, obviously, their bench. They're going to have 2 double game week goalkeepers, for example. So you've got to compete against that. So I think if you're competing against that, I think you should go for quantity of players. So you should definitely get 11 first teamers who are doubling. So hopefully you can get the quality as well. And that's where you can steal the march. Let's have a look at the fixtures. So, I mean, this shows, I mean, you already know this. So this was just a sort of a recap, really. This shows that Chelsea, this is it. I've sorted this by difficulty, by the way. So the best fixtures are obviously those that are doubling this week. And in order, Chelsea have the best fixtures. They're away to Nottingham Forest and Brighton. Newcastle next best, at home to Brighton and then away to Manchester United. Tottenham third, at home to Burnley. Good fixture. Will we see a Tottenham clean sheet? Could do. And then at home to Man City. That could be close. I think, obviously, I know. I'm assuming Man City will win that. I think Tottenham could give them a game, though. Brighton away to Newcastle and at home to Chelsea. That's tough. Man City are considered below them, but I think they're pretty good fixtures away to Fulham and away to Tottenham. I think that's good from an attacking point of view, certainly. And Manchester United, they've got Arsenal and Newcastle at home. There ain't going to be clean sheets there. Everton at home to Sheffield United, West Ham at home to Luton, Wolves at home to Crystal Palace. I don't think that's okay. That's that good. Bournemouth against Brentford could be some goals there. They're the best ones. So these are the sort of these are the teams you need to be targeting, I think, for your free hits. So what I've done is I've used planfpl.com to construct a team, a free hits team for game week 37. This one is from my team. So I've used as a base, blank my team, and so it's on my budget. It's got 1.9 in the bank. So that means I've got probably pretty okay value. I'm about 25k in the world, so just naturally I would have got players in that have done well in terms of people have bought them in, and so I think pretty much any budget could afford this. I think if I might have more budget than others, I might have much less than budget than others. Also, it gives you flexibility to perhaps switch some players around as well and get some differentials. So here's the team. What I'll do is I'll run through it quickly, and then I'll go back and explain some of those choices as well. Okay, here's the free hit team that I've mocked up if you're free hitting this week. So I've gone for 3-4-3, and I've got Petrovic in goal, Trippier if he's fit, but I'll come to that in a sec. Pedro Porro and Gvardiol as my back three. Across the middle, I've got Palmer, my vice captain, Son, Foden and Gordon. I've got Haaland, Isak and Jackson up front. And then on my bench, I've got Onana, Richarlison, Lewis Dunk and Tarkowski. Okay, so I'll come to all of those there. One of the things you'll notice is a lot of them will be familiar in bench boost teams, and they'll also be fairly obvious picks. There's a number of players which are obvious picks really, and you have to decide if you're free hitting, do you want to take on Haaland, Palmer, Isak, Gordon? Do you think they're not going to score? Do you think there's a better player than them? I don't think there is, but there could be better players than some of the others. The Manchester United players, for example, perhaps people have got a Spurs triple up. Is the Spurs triple up that good? Perhaps Manchester United might score against, and so Arsenal won't get a clean sheet already. You've got a march there because a lot of bench boosters will have Gabriel. So they're the differences there. So I'll start at the back. Okay, so we've got Petrovic in goal. The reason I have gone for Petrovic is because he's good in terms of getting points in a double game week. He's got strong minutes per save. He's making a save every 25 minutes. That's the second best out of the options here. But he also got clean sheets as well. Nana's actually the best for making saves, but he's not getting the clean sheets. Now he faces Nottingham Forest and Brighton, so I think clean sheets are a possibility as well. And also, which other Chelsea asset are you going to go for? Gusto, just back from injury, could play, might not play. I don't know. Cucurella, he could play, he might not play. He might get an assist, he might not. None, I don't think many are nailed. Chilwell could come back. I don't know. I mean, this is a double game week, so it's a long game week. And so Sanchez could be a return to compete with Petrovic, but he's in partial training. Will he come straight back in for this? Chelsea looking to get into Europe. I just can't see him playing any of these. But this is why on a free hit, have the sort of next best goalkeeper. And I think that's going to be a Nana, just in terms of getting save points. Don't think you're going to get any clean sheets, but I think you could get these save points there. Okay, so first of my defenders is Trippier. Listen out for team news content later this week. So he has been spotted in Dubai in the final part of his training for rehabilitating, getting back from injury. And this, I think, is where free hitters can steal a march. So if Trippier is back, he could be a great weapon. I think he's worth putting in, and it's worth having a good first sub defender. So I've got Lewis Dunk as my one, and I'll come to him in a second why. I think he's also a very good in that sort of differential spot. in this team. So Trippier could be an absolutely huge, great weapon for free hitters. He's got 10 assists this season, a goal. He's created 63 chances, and he's got great chance of bonus as well. He's getting a minutes per baseline bonus point system, which is basically how much points he's accumulating to get bonus every 5 minutes or so, which is very, very strong because he's doing all the other stuff, the passing and the chance creation as well, and the tackling. Okay, so yeah, I think he's a good option, but yeah, wait for team news there. We might, if he gets to sort of Trippier could start, I think it's worth giving it a go. I do think so. I think he could be an absolutely great player to have here, and he's got massive haul potential. Porro, Spurs have got Burnley. That's the key fixture here. Plus he's on set pieces. I want a bit of Spurs, but I don't quite want to triple up in my first 11. So I've gone for a defender that could get a clean sheet, but he could get an assist or two. He's created 49 chances. He's taken 100 corners this season. Maddison in and out of the team. So I think there'll be periods where Porro is certainly monopolising those set pieces. Gvardiol is next. He's the best Man City defensive option. I've got Edison. I've got the wrong one. I'm on bench boost. This is where you can steal a march. Is he Cancelo Mark II? It's certainly looking that way. He's had 16 close range shots this season, 2 goals and 2 assists. He's playing very, very far advanced in the last match. He's got Fulham and Tottenham who can concede. Certainly Tottenham can. Arguably Fulham's the tougher of the 2 matches from an attacking point of view. But clean sheet? I don't know. I don't know if there will be clean sheets here for Man City. So that's why I think Gvardiol's good. Across the middle. So some of these are just no-brainer picks, really. Palmer, he's arguably a strong captain as twos. That's why he's my vice-captain in this free hit team. 21 goals for the campaign. He's probably the only one who can really, realistically catch Haaland for the Golden Boot. Faces Brighton and Nottingham Forest. Just don't even overthink it. He'll probably be in your team already. Just keep him. Don't mess around. Don't take Palmer on. Son, you could arguably take him on. I think he's in decline. He's 32 this summer, but as the Liverpool game showed, Spurs have it in them to attack, and Son, the pedigree to do well in that, even against City in this double game week. I think he has to go in as a shield. I think he's going to be. I think he's got the capability to get a double-digit haul, and I think he's going to be hugely well owned by teams. So he's just got to go in, really, and I do think he'll do well. Foden is also here. Don't overthink. He's got 16 goals, 41 shots on target this season. That's the 41 shots on target is the third best amongst midfielders this season, and faces Fulham and Tottenham. I think that's 41 shots in the box. Apologies there. But anyway, he's pretty good. 16 goals. He faces Fulham and Tottenham. KDB is an option here. Now, you notice I've got 1.9 in the bank. ITB stands for in the bank. But betting against Foden, that's not for me. But if you wanted to, and you didn't want Gvardiol, for example, you could perhaps go for Foden and KDB. Might need a bit of rearranging, but it is certainly doable. Probably might need to do without Son for this. But you've got 1.9 in the bank there. So you can do KDB instead of Foden if you wanted to. But I just think Foden's better for the starts and the potential to do well here. Not to discount KDB at all. I've got Gordon here. Once again, don't overthink this. He's got an assist away at Burnley, so he can get returns away. And his away match is against Manchester United, who just shipped 4 goals, admittedly without Bruno, and away to Palace. Gordon, his home match against Brighton, that's the one I think you could get real returns here. He's at home. He's got 13 assists. Which is the most of any midfielder at home. He's also got nine goals too. So that's a huge amount of goal involvement there for Gordon at home. I got him in for my wild card for this bench boost in mind, because a lot of people just saying he's a bit of a cheat code. If he's at home, he's just going to get you points. Hey presto, he does every week. Jackson gets the nod for me. Good fixtures and form. Last 4 matches, he's got 3 goals from 13 shots, assist potential 2. He's involved in getting on for nearly half of Chelsea's goals over the last 4 matches. That's 44%. I think he's a really good option there. He will be popular Haaland, no overthinking here, and he's my captain as well. 5 goals in one game and a sub appearance since back from injury. Golden boot in his sights, 25 goals. Another league trophy as well. It should be coming his way. 7 goals in his last 4 matches, by the way. He's been available. That's more than any other striker, as you would imagine. And also Isak. Once again, I'm not overthinking it. You could go for Wilson. You could go for Wilson and Isak and Gordon, and I think that would be very potent as well. But you'd have to drop Jackson. You'd have to drop Haaland. Will Wilson score more than either of them? No, I don't think so. Isak, 5 goals in his last 4. Remains to be seen if he's on penalties, if Wilson plays too, because he did miss his last one. So that remains to be seen. Wilson has gone on record, I think it was on his podcast, that he will try and take the penalty if he can. he just, that's what he lives for. He just scores goals. So yeah, on my bench, I've got Onana. As I said, he's got a good save per minutes rate. So I don't think there's going to be clean sheets, but I think he'll just rack up those saves. Could get bonus as well. So whilst he might concede, in fact, he will concede, I think, against Arsenal and Newcastle, I do think there's save points there. Against 2 very attacking sides as well. So I'd be very surprised if there aren't a lot of saves racked up there from Onana. Could be needed. You never know. I've also got Richarlison. He could start. I think he should. I think a lot of Spurs players, fans think he should as well. With Son on the left, Brendan Johnson on the right, Richarlison up front. That looks certainly look more effective against Liverpool. He could start. Should do. Great first sub. Arguably, he could go in the team. But who'd you take out? So this is possibly where bench boosters can steal a march. So that's a tricky one to compete with. Who'd you take out? Foden, Son, Palmer, Gordon? Richarlison's sort of next best, I think. Dunk is my first sub. He could be needed if Trippier can't make it for any reason. Dunk could score. He's had 26 shots in the box this season. That's second behind Gabriel with 27. So I think he's a really good first sub. I don't think you're going to get clean sheets though against Newcastle away and Chelsea at home. And the next one is Tarkowski. So he's my only single game week player. He's had 22 shots in the box and faces Sheffield United. So strong potential of returns at both ends of the pitch there. All great for a bench boost, but all good for a bench if needed, if you're free hitting. So if any of your free hit team gets injured or doesn't play in Trippier's case as well. So yeah, I mean, I think the main thing to consider, and I already know, obviously, please do leave your comments below about, if you're free hitting or if you're looking to take on the free hit teams, the minority of them. So they're the underdogs. So I'm as a Brit, we also favour the underdogs. And so, I think good luck to those free hitters. But I think one of the main thing is that well owned and the players to take on. And you've got to try and pick your battles as well. And that's a really tough week with so many good players with good fixtures. So try and have 1 or 2 low-owned players. That's why I like Trippier in this. That's why I like having Dunk as a possibility. Who could do well, because you're going to get pretty much most of their points going into your team towards your rank there. But is this the week to bet against Haaland, Palmer, Son? I don't think it is. But I think free hitters will do well. They would have planned for this. I think bench boosters will do well. They would have planned for this. And I always think in FPL, if you plan for something, no matter what people say about saying, oh, this strategy is better than the other one, and I think as long as you plan by the end of game week 38, you're gonna do okay. So I use my free hit in game week 29. Free hitters this week will do better than my free hit in 29, but will they do better than my final ranking at the end of game week 38? Probably, possibly, maybe not. I don't know, and that's what it counts. You've got 38 game weeks to look at these things as well. So good luck, free hitters, this week. Good luck, everyone else. And thanks so much for joining me. Just a final reminder, do press that like button. And also do remember to subscribe so you can be up to date with our latest videos and podcasts. Thanks a lot for your time. Take care. See you soon.